Rock Your Biz. Rock Your Biz, where women get together to help each other grow their business. Networking, boot camp, seminars. Rock Your Biz with Tracy Sheldrake.
Hi, thank you for joining us. I am your host, Tracy Sheldrake, and you are listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM. Rock Your Biz is a community of like-minded women in business that are interested in collaborating, supporting each other, and growing their business. We will be showcasing these amazing women and how they help each other. Today, we are talking to Hadriana Leo, the Money Navigator. Hadriana is going to share her story and help us navigate the world of money. Thanks for joining us, Hadriana.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm tickled to be here, so this will be fun.
So let's start with telling us a little bit about yourself.
About me. I am a wife. I'm a mother, and I am a very self-conscious person to some degree because on the outside I'm all bubbly, but somebody said to me I think too much. But I really love people. I'm a nurturer, I'm a teacher, and that's what drew me to what I do. And of course, with my two daughters watching everything I do, it really drew me to have to be excellent at what I do because now I have to set an awesome example.
That's right. So tell us, what is a money navigator?
I know. And I was, when I decided to create this business, I had to come up with a term that better encapsulated what I did because it typically is niche. It's not the typical thing that you would experience. So I like to think that I help you navigate your journey through money.
Okay.
And essentially, it's how you relate to money. So not just spending it, but also earning it, and how you think about it, how you talk about it, how do you interact with it. I like to say that I can navigate those pathways with you and hopefully create a positive experience, one that you actually enjoy the journey. So Money Navigator.
Okay. So with this, is this the same as a money coach?
I was deliberate in taking coach off of my title.
Okay.
I've developed a really healthy respect for coaches who are certified and licensed. And I actually work with life coaches and business coaches to support what I do with my clients. So I was deliberate to take that off.
Okay.
I find it to be very common, and those who have earned the right to use it should use it because there's power in the term.
Absolutely.
So I'm a money navigator, and I kind of like it.
Okay, so have you acquired any training to do this, or how does this work? Okay,
so I've taught high school, which I think was probably the best thing I did in helping me get ready for this. If you can navigate through a high school classroom and survive, you're awesome. So yes, I've been a teacher. Before I came to Canada, I was a high school teacher. And since coming to Canada, I think I've done everything in between. So I was that person on the phone calling right at dinner time, asking you if you wanted to have your ducts cleaned. And I graduated from that. I think there was at one point I had a 5:30 in the morning job at a bakery. Well, that's my immigrant story. But since then, I have been a certified and fully registered financial advisor.
Okay.
And that has been for quite a number of years. And that part of my experience definitely has introduced me to all the nuances of managing money, spending it, and investing it.
Okay.
And I know some of the tricks of the trade in that light. In addition, in more recent years, I have acquired the Certified Cash Flow Specialist designation, and that deals with spending money and working with money today.
Okay.
As a financial advisor, typically they would teach us how to deal with money and invest it for a longer term.
Okay.
And I did that with my clients very well. Cash flow specialists look at how your money is moving today and how to make it work for today. So typically, we will work in identifying dreams and goals that your money can do for you in 12 months, 18 months, because a lot of clients, they have a hard time visualizing 20 years down the road, working for retirement. Yes, that's all great. But what happens to the meantime when the kids are driving you nuts and you just need a massage, like anything to get me out the house, or maybe a quick hop to Cuba or Vegas. I hear Vegas is a big one these days. But yes, managing your money today. So the combination of all of these, did I mention I have 2 daughters and a husband?
Yes.
I'm a pro. I actually have it on my my LinkedIn profile because all of these experiences come together for what I have been able to create and what I'm able to lend to my interaction with the client. So I think I've got some training behind me there.
Yes, we can definitely trust you. So what prompted you to start Crescendo Financial?
It actually started, there were a couple of personal events that took place that had me rethinking what I was currently doing. And at that time, I was a financial advisor. One integral one was when my sister passed. Well, as she was sick and passing, she was the let's make it happen girl.
Okay.
She didn't care how much it cost. But she was the one who made it happen. So we would go on these crazy jaunts, lovely adventures. We'd all get in the car and drive. But there was still so much she still wanted to do. And unfortunately, she passed at 51 with so much life ahead, with so many plans of things to do that didn't get done. That in combination with a couple other things and my experience with my clients across the table, those that I would work with, a good example was this gentleman. He was retiring from one of the factories in the area, and he got a package, a significant package, 7 figures, worked hard all his life, young, about 57, 58. And we put everything together for him very nicely. About 3 months later, he came back. You have to teach everything you just taught me to my wife. I have cancer. I've got a brain tumor. And they had made all these plans for that time, specifically where that moment in time where they were at now.
Right.
That's what they had worked so hard towards. And now he's sick. He can't make it. He's not feeling well. And they worked and didn't experience.
Yeah.
So combining these types of experiences, and his was not the only one, unfortunately. Altogether, I thought, you know what? I have to do something that speaks more to me, that allows me to give more of my gift to what I was doing.
Right.
And the nurturing side of me allowed me to do that. So I get to do those wonderful things and create Crescendo Financial and explain what a money navigator does.
I love it. Thanks. So you're listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM, and I am here with Hadriana Leo, the money navigator. We're learning all about what a money navigator is and the story behind the name Crescendo Financial. Does it mean anything? Is there a story behind that?
Well, there is one. It's not so much a story, but it reflects from my love of music.
Okay.
So there are some people who catch it. So a crescendo, I sing and I read sheet music. So there are all of those symbols in the bars and in the music lines. And the crescendo sign, it looks like a really elongated less than sign, but it actually is a graduated but intentional increase.
Okay.
And when you have a crescendo sign along your music, you know that whatever point you're at, you take the breath because you're going to need to build that. You're going to need to blow that up. At some point, the conductor is going to ask our choir to take the top off of wherever we're singing.
Wow.
And that is essentially why I chose crescendo. It means something to me because it speaks to one of my hobbies, one of my talents. And it also speaks to the process. We're not looking for any get rich quick. That's not the intent. And you're not looking for anything that you just fall into.
Absolutely.
You're planning it, deliberate, and you're going to make it happen. And yeah, we're going to blow the top off of your financial experience because it's just there waiting to happen.
I love that. Such a fitting name. So I've heard you when you've described to me what you do before, and you've used the word magic. Explain that to me.
It's my fairy godmother line. I like to say that I unleash the magic of math and mindset so you can realize money mastery. Most people think that the essence of doing well with your money is all numbers. And it is a lot numbers. But I've discovered that so much of our relationship with money happens in our head. It's totally in your head.
Do you find that a lot of us don't really realize that we have these different relationships and that's why we have this way of spending or saving?
It's so ingrained in us that we don't even think about it. But when you stop, like typically when I would, a typical exercise I do with money mindset would be, tell me some of your negative statements that you may have heard that you probably interacted with, or somehow the sheet is full. If I say, tell me some of the positive terms or phrases you've heard associated with money, it's hard to pull out. Because we are bombarded with all of these negative connotations about money. We don't even realize that we've been brainwashed into giving money these moral values when it has none. And it happens in the head. So I found the best mix is dealing with the numbers. Sorry, some people don't like the numbers. You still have to deal with the numbers. Like I say, there's no ostrich pose in this business. You can't stick your head in the sand. But you have to know the numbers, but you also have to know yourself and how you interact with money. There are some people who are bold and confident and strong when they're at work or when they're dealing with their kids. And then when it comes to money, they disappear and they beg for a hole to open in the ground. How we approach the other aspects of our lives, because I was that person. I was thinking to myself, well, this person is confident. They totally have it together. I can't help this person. And then we do a money personality quiz. And they turn out to be one of our characters is a Pollyanna. It's like, whatever you want to do, it's fine with me. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And that's a dangerous position to take. But we're not trying to change the mindset or change the personality. We're trying to make you aware of that personality so you can use it to your advantage.
So this is what we would go through. Like if we set up an appointment with you, we'd go through this whole thing and it would help us figure this out.
Absolutely. It also helps me decide what kind of plan I'm putting in place for you. Because if I understand, for example, there is a couple that I was dealing with one time. One was so intent on not paying extra interest. And the other one was very much intent on eliminating debt. Just get it off. And they didn't realize it. They're both trying to get their family out of debt, but they're at loggerheads. How are we doing it? How do we get it done? So I identified a path that allowed both of them to work in their ideal scenario, to work towards that. And suddenly we're happy again. I'm sure things spiced up in the bedroom too, because I have that magic, you know? But it's uncovering those things that you may not necessarily realize because you're in it. But I can stand from the side with some professional eyes and see it.
From your experience, do we believe you or do we get defensive when we figure this out?
I prove it to you. And that's the thing too, because it's so ingrained, you don't even realize it. So it's you don't even know, but when I can show you, someone says, oh, wow, one of them came out to be a dreamer. And she says, who'd have thunk it? I'm a dreamer. And all the points were pretty much dead on. They're a dreamer with a lot of philanthropy in the heart. They just, it'll happen and it'll take care of it somehow, that kind of way.
So how would this be different than a financial advisor?
Well, in addition to the fact that financial advisors typically will be planning for your retirement for the longer term, as well, what else is different is we're looking at your cash flow today. And as much as I was registered and licensed to sell products. So I love investing, I have to admit. I really enjoy investing and seeing money grow and multiply and seeing the crescendo effect in the markets. Oh, lots of fun. I gave it up. Oh, God, did I have withdrawal symptoms? I only get to play with my own money and it's not as fun. But one of the core differences, I don't no longer sell product. And I had to have a good, hard think about that because, well, I worked hard for my licenses. I studied hard and I kept up with all the years of renewals and all of that. And I gave it up because I think the client appreciates that when we're working together, I'm not working with you to uncover money, that I will now say, oh, by the way, I can put that in an RSP for you. I'm not teaching you how insurance works, so I can later tell you, let me sell you an insurance product. The clients that I've worked with have shown appreciation for that. And besides, there's enough business for all of us. So I have created relationships with financial advisors that I can trust and recommend. So that I don't have to have it all. I don't have to do it all.
And you can refer them on to the different specialists,
That's right. And I can be an expert in my field.
Okay, that's great. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about dream funding and why Hadriana's service is so unique.
We interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast.
You asked, we listened. It's Rise and Shine, Stouffville.
Good morning. This is your wake-up call.
Weekday mornings starting at 5. We kickstart your mornings with great music,
Hey Jude.
local news, local traffic. Oh, did we mention great music? It's Rise and Shine, Stouffville. Weekday mornings starting at 5.
That's the way it is.
Hey, honey, guess what?
What?
Whistle Radio has a new morning show.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and now we finally have something to listen to every day from Monday to Friday from 7 to 9.
Yeah, great. So now I don't have to listen to you babble all the time in the morning.
Is that so? Tune in Monday to Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. for news, sports, weather, entertainment, and other reports with Stouffville's finest.
You're listening to Whistle FM. News, weather, traffic, everything Stouffville. CIWS FM 1029.
Welcome back. You're listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM. Don't forget to get in touch with us at rockyourbiz.ca. We'd like to network with you on and offline. So just before the break, we were talking to Hadriana Leo, the Money Navigator, about what is different from the Money Navigator and financial advisors. So now, Hadriana, what would be the difference? How does a financial planner come into that mix?
So a financial planner typically would be someone who would have like a CFP designation, certified financial planner designation, and they really work hard in creating tax efficiencies. They work hard in creating legacies and retirement planning and eventually rolling your estates over into to the next generation in a tax efficient way. They are really long-term planners for the most part, and my money navigation work is closer to today, closer to the heart of what how you're living right now.
Okay, so the good news is we can really dig into what we need to do and how we think and use money, and then you can use your network to pass us on to maybe the advisors or the planners that we need to connect with.
Absolutely, and I have quite a network of those available so that you can tap into and be confident that you're finding the right one.
Okay. Now, in this world of so many entrepreneurs and so many people in business, what makes your service unique?
Well, for one thing, it's not something that's commonly available. I really enjoy the fact that I can explain it. It's not one where you would say, oh, that's what you do. Okay. You know, it's more niche market. But in addition to that, I've seen other people who help people with money, and I'm not going to name names. I take a lot of pride in the fact that the service I offer is judgment-free and it's nurturing. Not head bashing.
Right.
Because there is this thought that you must be an idiot if you can't manage money. And it just breaks my heart. Because the truth of the matter is, first of all, it's not the numbers, just the numbers. But as well, who was teaching us this stuff when we were growing up?
Nobody.
They taught us calculus.
Right.
That I have not used since I graduated. But they didn't teach me how to balance a checkbook.
No.
They didn't teach me how to figure out if it's on sale, is it really a good value? Or
if I spend $40 more, I get free shipping.
I know! Exactly. Even I'm a sucker for that some days, right? Because these are the inherent things that actually are part of our day-to-day decision making, and they impact generations. You know, the lottery winners, they win the lottery. I think, who was it I was speaking to? I think it was a paralegal I was speaking to. No, it was an accountant. She came, this person won the lottery, and in 3 years he said, this has ruined my life. It absolutely ruined his life. And everybody thinks if I just have some more money, I'll be okay. Why is that? Because it's not just the numbers. There's something else at play. So I nurture. I'm not going to hit you behind the head because you have essentially been programmed and don't realize it. I can't do that. Not to mention, you're going to catch more flies with molasses than with vinegar.
Absolutely.
So if my approach is one that is more nurturing, one that holds your hand when I need to, and don't get me wrong, I do kick butts. But that personality is the personality that would work with a butt kick every now and then. But nurturing instead of taking a judgmental attitude, I think that is very unique because you see too much of the opposite approach out there. And
I feel like there's different topics for different people that they can't just wrap their head around. And you don't want somebody making you feel like you're an idiot because of it. So you can explain it to us, maybe on another level, or
we take it down to the brass and tacks, and you get behind it. So, okay, you make great money, you never have money. Well, obviously, it's not the amount. I sat with a lady just Monday. She makes great money, lots of money. And she said to me, I just need somebody to take my bank card and go with it. Dangerous.
Yes.
And she wasn't joking either. Because it's not about the numbers. And she needs somebody to be her champion. And that's when I put the package together for her. That's essentially what I'm going to do. Educate her. Show her that she can, and ensure she has the confidence to move through this, knowing that she's okay. So we'll recraft how she thinks about money, how she interacts with it.
Right.
Because she has a few sticking points that I identified when we sat for the consult. And she's got this. She's totally got this. I'm like, oh yeah, you got it.
So who would you say is your most ideal client?
Well, I started out as a women's navigator, women's money navigator. I dropped the women because the men complained. But 99% of the people I work with are women.
Right.
They are women who have professional jobs, who are making good money, and who are ready to take their life experience to the next level. I have workshops for people who may not be able to work with me on a long-term basis.
Right.
So I do workshops that are affordable and what have you. But my ideal client says, I worked hard for my education. I work hours for that job. I give my best to my children. And I want to level up my life because they know that money can do better for them and more for them. They've done everything they can. Now they're ready to tap into some professional help to really kick it out of the park.
Okay, very cool. So you're listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM, and I am here with Hadriana Leo, the Money Navigator, and we've heard all about what the Money Navigator is and how it's different from a financial planner. So now I need to know, because you've alluded to it a couple times, what is dream funding?
Yes, dream funding. I love the term dream funding because what I have found is because of that short in our system where our money relationship just seems to spaz out sometimes, we've stopped dreaming.
Okay.
We have stopped thinking about those dreams we had when we were 6 years old, playing in our bedrooms or down in our basements when we created the lives that we knew we were going to have as children. When we grew up, we saw ourselves doing amazing things. And somewhere along the way, I don't know, something happens and we gave it all up. I've met so many people who just stopped dreaming. They stopped dreaming because they thought it's futile. It's useless. Like, why bother? It's never going to happen. And I sit with you typically in a consultation and I identify a dream. Tell me something that you'd like your money to do for you in 12 to 18 months. And typically, that's what I do. Give your money a job description. What do you want your money to do? But you'd be surprised how many people think, oh, well, I'd like to go on a vacation that I don't have to worry about how it's paid for. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That cruise, not just for you, but possibly for the whole family that you can put on the credit card and pay it off the next day. In fact, go on vacation without a balance on your card. That would be something. Perhaps it's a car loan they want to pay off. For me, I know when I did my own dream card, because I have one, I wrote the Taj Mahal. Because when I had my first daughter, she must have been maybe 2 or 3. I don't even remember if she was talking yet. And we were going through a book. I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. So we were going through a book and there was a picture of the Taj Mahal. And she liked it. I guess, something, I don't know, something about it appealed to her. And I said to her, Mommy's going to take you there one day. And I haven't yet. And she's 12. So I need to take my daughter to see the Taj Mahal one way or another because I promised it. That's one. But I kind of want to see it too, right? I'd like to see the world. And I'd like to experience the world not from the idea of restricted budget, but from the point of view of broadening the life experience. There are so many things we've stopped dreaming about, and
Absolutely.
I'd like to be able to fund those dreams.
Okay, very cool. So, can you think of a particular client that you've helped them realize that dream recently? Or?
Well, I'll tell you one, and it's probably, I helped a lady get a divorce.
Oh, no.
I know.
I guess that was good news for her.
It was good news for her because she came to me. I remember when we were done our first appointment, she was crying. Her relationship was not healthy.
Right.
And she and her young adult daughter, in fact, the daughter introduced her to me. They came and we met in the middle of the food court at a mall. This person didn't know me from anywhere.
Right.
And essentially she said, I need to get a divorce and I need to know that I'll be okay. She was a stay-at-home foster mom. And she would, when we worked all the numbers out, she would no longer have the house. So there goes her fostering because now her residence no longer qualified. That was one of my best experiences because I didn't just teach this lady about money. I actually helped her free herself from
Absolutely.
what could have been a dangerous situation. Before she even served divorce papers to her spouse, we had a mortgage pre-approval. We had a job identified for her. She had a lawyer. And we had some professionals in place because we wanted to ensure that when she did say, we're getting a divorce, if she had to leave the house, she was good. She was stealthy. She was packing and she still lived there, getting little bits put to storage. But for me, that goes to the core of how impactful what I do can be.
Absolutely.
Right? How it can change a life.
So what are the steps? So after we do the initial consult, are we checking in with you at a certain intervals?
Right. So the initial consult essentially helps me identify what we're working on.
Okay.
So I put a package together and it's always custom because what your struggle is may not be someone else's.
Right.
And we put a package that has maybe a 3-month working together term or 6 months. I just sent one out last night that really she needs a year. Working with that, we determine our meeting points. We determine, actually, I give out massages. We determine what other services are needed to complement what I'm doing.
Right.
And some people just need a touch. There are some people, especially some of the women I work with, depending single moms, may just need a massage.
Yeah.
Right. You get to come to my workshops, and I'm able to work with you either by video conference or in person.
Okay.
I don't like the phone because I need to see you.
Absolutely.
There are some things I say, and I'm like, you rolled your eyes. I just saw you rolled your eyes. Did you know you rolled your eyes? We need to stop and tell me why you rolled your eyes.
Because we wouldn't even notice that.
You don't notice.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for the cues that say to me, okay, I've lost her.
Yes.
Or there are also times when you just literally see the lamp go ding. And I'm like, oh, she got it. Yeah, she got
That's
it.
so cool.
It's really validating what I do. It's fun, but it really validates what I do when I get the ding.
Right.
You know, it all works.
So you're helping us keep on track. What's driving you? What keeps you going to help us?
Well, I embrace the fact that I'm a cheerleader.
Okay.
So when I was growing up, I had this nasty habit of being good at things that are posed. So I'm a girl. I grew up with boys. So typically I was a tomboy. So, and also I guess more appropriate to this question, when I graduated high school, I graduated with the prize for my year in literature and math. The counselors the career counselors never knew what to do with me because I was in the science stream because my dad seemed to think that I should be a doctor and I couldn't be bothered. I happened to be good at it, but it didn't thrill me.
Right.
So putting all of that together, coming together and making it work, that's how I ended up where I am now.
So, first of all, let us know where we can find you.
Oh, I'm everywhere apparently, because that's what I hear people say. I'm online, www.crescendofinancial.com, and most actively I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm there with a live presence. You can see the events that are coming up. I think most notably is a free webinar series that I do every month on a Wednesday evening. All I ask you to do is at your computer, have a drink in one hand and wear your stretchy pajamas. I call it the online money jam.
Yes.
It's fun, it's light, but you come away with good, serious tips that you can apply. And it is for both ladies and guys. So guys have stretchy pajamas too. So you can call me, you can send me a messenger text or what have you. You can find me.
That's great. So just before we go quickly, you can tell us, what do you see happening in the near future? What's on the horizon?
What's on the horizon for me? A lot of exciting things. I'm getting a boot camp ready, an intense 4-week program that I'm going to launch for women who are just ready.
Okay.
They're ready. They don't have time for all of the little things. Intense. There are some people who learn best like that with that pressure.
Absolutely.
And of course, I'm working with I have a writing project that I'm part of with Randy Goodman, 365 empowering
It's
stories.
gonna be fabulous.
My chapter's done and submitted. Woohoo! I'm very excited about that. And of course, I've got the writing bug, so there might just be a book coming out soon.
Okay, great. So you can find out more about Hadriana at rockyourbiz.ca. And same thing, we've got a book coming out, Rock Your Biz. Be sure to watch out for that. And come out and join us for some networking. The only rules are to be authentic and have fun. See you then.
You've been listening to Rock Your Biz with Tracy Sheldrake on Whistle FM. If you'd like to get more information about the various networking programs, all you have to do is drop by our website at